All right, friends, for tonight's homework, you are being given a couple of sheets. You're going to get a sheet that looks like this, and it will have some squares on here. You're going to get a sheet. I've already cut this out. It's a little Venn diagram. On the left-hand side, you should recognize this. This is the peppered moths. And on the right-hand side are a picture of 4 different breeds of dogs, and you might even recognize some of those breeds of dogs. And then finally, you're going to get this sheet right here, and this is going to be the first sheet that we actually glue down onto our spiral notebook. Okay, so we're going to glue this one down first. And you'll have your spiral handy. And this is going to go onto page 10. Remember, you have labeled your page 10, natural versus artificial selection. And I'm just going to go ahead and very quickly glue down that first sheet so that I'm ready. And I'm going to make sure I'm doing this neatly right in the center right there. Okay, so then what's going to happen is we're going to glue this sheet onto the top, and we're only going to glue the top part of the tab there. So what I find easier to do is to fold neatly on that dotted line. So we're just going to be putting glue right here. We're also going to be making 2 cuts straight up because they're going to look like little flaps. So if you just make your little cut neatly here, and cut right through little doggy, and right through that peppered moth. And so you should cut right up and then still have some of that tab. Now, an easier way I find to get the tab to stick down is, rather than putting glue on the tab, I actually put it right here. I like the way that works a little bit better than trying to glue onto the tab. Oops. Hopefully you can still see. Okay. All right, so then you're going to glue, and that way, I'll lift that a little bit. You should be able to pull up your tabs, okay? Now in here you're having 1, 2, 3 columns. Right here we have the peppered moth. In here we have how peppered moth and dogs are similar. And then here we have just the dogs. And we're comparing natural selection to artificial selection. And artificial selection, if you remember from your reading, is when dogs are bred for a specific trait. And that's when humans are controlling those traits. In natural selection, we remember that nature chooses the traits. So from this sheet of paper right here, there's actually 2 copies of it, you only need 1. You're trying to figure out which of the squares goes under natural selection, artificial selection, or if it is a trait for both sides. So if I'm looking at the first square, it says trait is desirable to breeders. I'm going to put that underneath the dog because that is something that is selected specifically by breeders. So what you're going to do is you are going to very neatly cut out that section. And I am going to put that down underneath the dog side because that is what breeders do. Sorry, I don't have my studio quite set up. And then I neatly and nicely put that right there. And then I just look at the rest of the squares and put them underneath the appropriate flap, and then that's it for the homework. All right, good luck.